Hey guys, so today we're gonna pick my project pen palettes for the next year. This is just kind of like brainstorming because I still, we'll see. Maybe I'll decide a little bit differently, but this is just kind of like my idea what we could do, and I think I'm gonna create like a ball where you could help me decide if you'll want that. So that's just kind of the plan for right now. And yeah, today I'm just gonna kind of show you where I am with my project plan for this year because I still have like month and a half to finish it. So it's just kind of like a little checkup. And then we're gonna pick the palettes for next year. So hopefully that's something that you'll enjoy. And in case you're new here, hi, my name's Sasha. I love indie makeup, I love colorful makeup, I love eyeshadows especially. Lately I've been trying a lot of eyeshadows and I've been reviewing a lot, but I still wanna get some uses in my collection and just really, get better at using my collection. So hopefully, I'll get better at it. And when it comes to project pens, I'm not like, I don't force myself to use these products. It's just kind of to keep them in mind and maybe try to pen them. It's not like, it's not a disaster if I'm not gonna pen them. It's completely fine, but it's just kind of for me to kind of make me aware of the fact that I could use some of them up. And that's either because I know they already have a lot of uses and I know that it is a doable task for me, or I just want to really push myself. So that's just kind of where I am with this and kind of my philosophy around that. Okay, so when it comes to the palettes that were already in my project pen for this year, let me kind of put them all here. So there was this Little Cosmetics quad. This is just like a single shades that I put in this. This was like a charity palette. They usually do these charity palettes for different causes. And I don't even know how this one was called, but it was just like for, I think it was for like stray cats and stray dogs or something like that. But yeah, I just have 4 shades in here and I thought I'm gonna be able to hit pan on them. Maybe I'll do that this year. Like for me, it was just about hitting pan on these. And this one is super close, this one is super close. These two, well, this one maybe, this one not really. So we'll see how we're gonna get by the end of the year. Maybe I'm gonna be able to hit pan in these two. If I do, then I'm just gonna like continue with these two in next year, or maybe I'm gonna switch that up, or maybe I'll put them into like a full-on project pen to like use them up at all, to use them up completely. This one I feel like I could definitely do because I've been using it as a blushy highlighter as well on my face because it has that kind of peachy pinky shift, so it's very nice for that. This one I've used as highlighter twice and it actually looks nice. This one I've used more as a highlighter on my face than on my eyes actually, and this one, it's a beautiful shade. And sometimes I've put this with my face products and I think that wasn't a good idea because I always forget that I have this and I do my face last. So by the time I remembered that I have this, I already have my eyes done. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put that with my eyeshadows to like remember to use that. Then I have this Tinkerbell palette, and I think with this Tinkerbell palette I just wanted to hit pan on these shades, especially these 6 because these are from the original Tinkerbell palette and these 3 are a new shades, either like single shades or shades from different palettes. So as you can see, I have pan here, here, and here. These 2 I don't really wear them all that often, but I will see about that. And then this one, it doesn't have pan. Maybe I could, but honestly I have another green palette that I want to pan first, or like it's more of a priority. But I did manage to create a couple pans, and maybe I could use this one up next year, or at least the shades that are from Colourpop, like these 6 This one is actually also Colorpop, but it's from the Legend of Korra palette. But I do like this one, so I don't really mind keeping it here. And this one is Colorpop, but it's a single shade, and I think it's called Big Smiles. So yeah, but I think I would want to put these in the next year's project plan and try to use them up completely. I think these three will be doable because I've already used them so much, and I need to focus on these a little bit more because they're not bad. It's not my favorite. I have more interesting shades, but maybe I could use them more in like build your own palette and stuff like that. So this one might go for to the next year. And then I have the Colorpop Legend of Korra from last year, and here I only wanted to use up 2 shades. That was the only idea with this, and it was the shade Rebel Spirit. It was originally here. It was kind of like that jelly light white shade that I no longer have because I did use that up. And then the shade Future Industries, I am almost out of that one. I mostly used it either in my build your own palettes or duped palettes, or part of it I used to make a nail polish. So the shade that I have here is a different shade. This one is from the Pokemon palette, one of them. I don't remember what is the name of this. But yeah, so I kind of almost did that. This one is completely out, and this one is so little of it. So maybe if I'm gonna do another duped palette or project pan, maybe I'm gonna be, or some kind of project with it, maybe I could use that up. But that was the only thing from this palette that I wanted to use up. And it was because they're more like the jelly shades and I don't like them. Then a palette that I did actually wanted to fully use up, or maybe this one I only wanted to hit pan on. And it's the Shall We Make Up Liana palette. I don't have the multichrome shade that was here because it started to get really oily and greasy on me, like very uncomfortable to use actually. So I decided to change it into nail polish. I actually have that nail polish over here. So it's a beautiful nail polish, like I actually love it. And I get so much uses out of it now as a nail polish. But yeah, I still have these to use up. The pans of Shall We Makeup products are super shallow. So this one, if I'm not gonna hit pan in this in the next like 2-3 uses, I genuinely will be surprised because you can't see it, but the dip is insane. And in this one, I feel like I could because I've been lately really obsessed with these silvers. So I really want to get into it and maybe use it up. And like maybe hit pan on this. So I think I'm gonna be able to hit pan on these two by the end of the year. But I don't know if I'm gonna be able to use it up. And I think if I'm not gonna use it up, which probably will happen, I think I'm gonna use this for next year as well. And then I'll probably keep it as like a palette to repress another shades into it, if that makes sense. And I have the Earth palette by Oden's Eye. I feel like this could be the palette that I will be able to finish up this year. Because as you can see, 2 shades are completely gone. This shade is barely holding for its dear life. Like there's just a little bit, and it's very crumbly at this point because it's getting to be a bit more jelly and quite like it has a lot of fallout, and it's really hard to obviously scrape it from the edges. So I'm gonna try to use it a couple times, mostly on my lower lash line probably because I can get smaller brush and actually like get inside. But yeah, I don't think there's many uses with this one. And then these two are super shallow and pretty much only at the borders. So yeah, I feel like if I'm really gonna try, I can use up these two. So I think this is gonna be the only palette that I will actually use up, and I really want to focus on this one. So you're probably gonna see it a lot in my weekly like makeup diaries. But I just really want to use this one up, and again use it as kind of like an empty palette to repress shadows into. I would really want to get into that. And then I have the 2 Christmas palettes by Oden's Eye. We're gonna start with Merry Christmas because this one is more used. I think I've already used it 100 times. Let me actually find my statistics. But I think I've used it 100 times. Or we're very close to that. Oh, 95 times, sorry. But yeah, we're very close to that. As you can see, I don't have a lot of shades in here anymore. This one I completely used up on my own. Or maybe there was just like a little bit at the borders and I used that for a nail polish. I used a lot of this shade for my lip gloss, and then also for nail polishes. And this one is a nail polish. This one I used like half of it as eyeliner, or maybe even more than half of it as an eyeliner, and then the rest I put into my nail polish. And this one I used the whole thing for the nail polish because I hate this. Like, this was the ugliest, one of the ugliest shades I've ever had to put on my eyes. So yeah, this one is gone. And it was mostly because the shades, like these 3 shades, I haven't really used them on my eyes. I didn't really love the way that they look on my eyes. And now that they're made into nail polishes, I do actually use them. So it just, they're starting to get some purpose in my collection, and like, serve its time. I think I'm gonna be able to use up this shade, the shade Snowman, by the end of the year, because it's like there's just a little bit. This one is getting flaky though, so I used to use it on my face as well, and now it's too flaky. This one also, like, it's not flaky, but it's almost out, so I think this one is also gonna be doable. Maybe this one, because I do use it as a blushy highlighter. So these 3 are a possibility. If I'm really gonna try, I might use up the Best Wish, because I go through this shade so much and I use a lot of it because I just love the way it looks. I'm still trying to hit pan on the gingerbread shade because I have such a huge dip in there, and I use it not just on my eyes but also as a blush if I mix it with translucent powder. And I use this shade a lot as an eyeliner, so it's actually kind of, I always spray the setting spray right into it, so it's kind of hard at this point, and I would have to like scrape out the top part to make it swatch. But yeah, so most of these shades I think will be gone by the end of the year. I mean, we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so a half will be gone, and then the rest I'll probably repress into something else or make them into single shades and to use them up next year. So yeah, I still don't know if I'm gonna repress it in another palette or if I'm gonna make them into singles and like put them in a magnetic bands and just build some kind of color story with them. And here's the Christmas Eve palette, again by Oden's Eye. I don't have 3 shades. This one I almost used all of it on my eyes. There was just like a little bit that I added in my nail polishes because again it was getting really oily, which is a shame because the shade Gorgeous is just stunning, genuinely. This shade Lima Tart had a huge pan, but then it started to be kind of like very waxy and not as opaque as it was the first time. So again, I used like the rest of the shade on my eyes, but both of these I did hit pan on my own. There was huge pans in both of these, and then I scraped the rest to use on my eyes. This one again I used to use on my nails. This one again used on my nails. This one used half of it, but it already had a pan previously. I don't remember if this one had a pan before I went in for the nail polish, but I think this also had a pan. And I think I'm gonna be able to use this one up, maybe this one if I'm gonna try, but it's getting pretty flaky right now, so I don't know. And we'll see. Like this one, you can't actually see that, but it's literally just like around the borders. It's very shallow. This one I think I will be able to hit pan because it's so shallow. Like there's so much product scooped out, but it's just kind of like a drier formula, so it doesn't really move so much in the pan. This one maybe we're gonna be able to use up. And maybe I'm gonna be able to hit pan on this because I scraped out some of it for the nail polishes, and I also used a lot of it on my own. Like I've used it like 27 times. And I know that this one had a pan after 26 times, so like we're close. So yeah, I think I'm gonna be able to have maybe 5 complete pans in this, like used up all of the product, and then some of these will be just with a little pan peeking through. I don't think I'm gonna be able to hit pan on these two because I don't use them as often, and I don't use much of them. Though did use the ice crystal 26 times already, so maybe it just doesn't look like it was that used, but actually, now that I look at it from the side, there is a huge dip, so maybe. But yeah, this one, I don't think I'm gonna have pen in that one. So that's kind of where we are. I think for the next year, I definitely want to bring in these two palettes, but I don't think I'm gonna keep them in the packaging. I'll do something with them to take them out of the packaging, because I don't want to start this huge thing for like 10 eyeshadows. That just doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I'll get rid of the packaging and either repress them in magnetic pens or in some kind of palette. So definitely stay tuned for that. I definitely want to do like a bigger project at the end of the year, or maybe at the beginning of next year, to just kind of sorting through all of this. Then hopefully this one will be completely used up by the end of the year, so I'll just keep the packaging maybe for repressing these in there, though the pens are a little bit smaller. So this one I don't think is gonna be there for 2025. Then this one, I hope I'm gonna be able to hit pan, and I think one of the slots will be reserved, like this empty slot will be reserved for one of the shades from these two Christmas palettes, to repress that and make like maybe like a nice green little palette to take with me, because this one is really easy to travel with. And I'll try to use it up next year, so that one also goes for next year. And then I think I do want to put the Tinkerbell and use up the Colourpop 6 shades that I have at the bottom. I don't know about the Little Cosmetics. I think I'm gonna let you vote on that. And also it's gonna be based on if I'm gonna be able to hit some pens or not. But I want to buy like a little, you know, the acrylic like stand where you can like put the palettes standing like this next to each other, and I want to have it on the table so that I can see it every day and use it, because otherwise it's just kind of, I forget that I own this. So this one is a maybe, and it's one of those that you can vote for. I will create a poll, and I think it's gonna be on my YouTube like page, you know, the community page. So definitely I will link it down below. Then I was kind of wondering if I should try to hit pan on these Colourpop shades, because I think they're all Colourpop. Some of them are depotted from Alter Ego Pal by Glam Shop. But yeah, I kind of, maybe we could try that, because I actually do use this color story quite a bit. Let me see how much we've already used it, but I know I've used her a lot. I've used her a lot last year as well, but we're at 50 uses. And I think we were at 50 uses with the Christmas palettes when I decided to put them in the project pan, so it wouldn't be that far off. And some of these I've used a lot, like this blue shade, I use that all the time. Like I just love this one. This green shade also. This one I've used quite a bit. And a lot of the shimmers are new here, except this shade, which is Diamond Star Sign, and it was here pretty much from the beginning. But a lot of these shimmers are new here from other palettes, because I've been kind of constantly playing with this palette and changing it up to like figure out what I want, because there were some neutrals that I didn't like, and you know, just kind of, this one has been changing a lot throughout the course of its life. But yeah, maybe this one could be. And then I was thinking, one of my most used palettes, except the, if I'm not gonna count the Christmas palettes, is the Solmane II palette by Oden's Eye. This one is older in my collection, and she is getting older. Like I can, like the formula is still okay, but I can tell that it's not as good as it was before. But this is how she looks like. I use some of this shade again as a nail polish, but I think I'll try to repress another shade here, because I have one matte shade from Glam Shop that is like very similar. It's a matte shade, and I kind of feel like I could press it here and just, you know, kind of offset the fact that I stole a bit of this shade. But there was a pan before already. Then we have this pen, this pen. This one is so close to pen. This one I've already used like 50 times. It's so close to pen. This one I always use as a eyeliner, so it's also like very close to pan. Then this one has a huge dip. I don't like this one as much, and this one, but maybe I could figure out something with them. So like we already have 3 pans. 3 pans are looking to be, sorry, 4 pans. 3 pans are looking to be very close. And I want to buy the new Solmane II palette, like the purpley one. So I could use them together and just like give it a new life. Yeah, let me try to switch them. Yeah, they're getting a little bit waxy, but it's still doable. And I don't mind it that much with the darker shades because I can always top it with some topper or some kind of fun shimmer. So yeah, let me know if I should, because it's definitely getting older, and I think next year could be its last year with me, because then it's gonna be just too old to use. Because I don't know, how old do I have that? I opened it in July of the year 2022. So it's already more than 2 years old. This one has shelf life of 36 months. So next year in summer, this will be 3 years old. And yeah, like you can kind of tell with some of the shimmers. And even this matte I don't think is as good as it used to be, if I remember that correctly. So yeah, I feel like I could try to, like, you know, use it a couple more times, maybe hit some more pans before it's gonna go out of my collection, because it is getting old and I can tell that it's getting old. So maybe should I put it here or here? I'll let you vote on that, and if it's gonna get small votes and I'll still want to use it, then I'll just use it nevertheless. And then I have the Hello Bean and Shroud, sorry, Betty Bean and Shroud, the Hello Bean palette. I don't know what's happening with Shroud. I've heard some not very nice things about them, but I want to keep the palette, like the actual outside of the palette, because I just love this beam. I love the packaging. I love that it's 9 pen, it's magnetic. So I will definitely keep that. But I was thinking about trying to use up some of the shades since I bought them and I paid for them. Why not use them? I made some changes. The shade Woodsboro I actually put in the Legend of Colorpop. This one is a shade from Alter Ego. It's a depotted shade because I just like how sparkly this one is. Because the Sharp palettes aren't that sparkly, so I just wanted to have something that's a little bit more sparkly. And then I changed the shade Crypt because that one's kind of like a mustardy. I had that shade somewhere. Yeah, I think I have it somewhere with my single shade. So I decided to put this more vibrant orange from the Alter Ego palette by Glam Shop. It just, I think it looks a little bit better here. And it just, the palette is more functional. I did like how the original shade looked in the palette, but then when I tried to make a look, it just didn't work for me. So I feel like now it works better with these 2 shades there. And yeah, I just would like to use them a bit. And then maybe at the end of the year, I would throw them away or just keep them as singles and use this palette for different things. But like I used this shade 5 times, this one 4 times, this one 8, this one 11, and I actually do want to use this one up because it's gorgeous. This one 9 times, 5 times, 5 times. So I haven't used her that much. I've used her like 21 times altogether. So I just feel like, since I paid for it, why not actually get some uses in there? So I think this one could be a contestant. So I have these 4 for you to vote on. Actually, I'm gonna put the Solmane here. I think I am decided to put it there. But then, 3 kind of options that you can choose from. I have this Beauty Bay Mini Charms, but this one is actually very new to my collection. But it's very small, it's very nice. One of the shades shattered for me, not when it came to me, but a little bit later, because I'm clumsy, and this one is pretty like soft formula. So I know I wouldn't like give it to anybody or like get rid of it, since like one of the shade is broken. But since they're really small pans and there's like just 1 gram of product and it's a shimmer, I feel like this could be like a kind of like a nice project to have something that you will get uses out of. because it is beautiful shades, and I know I would pan it really quickly because shimmers just pan really quickly, especially when they're this small. So yeah, I feel like that could be like an easy project to just feel good about yourself. Even if I'm not gonna be able to use up anything else, I probably will be able to like at least hit pan on this. So I feel like this could be just like just like one of those things that can make you feel good about yourself. And I have this. I feel like I don't really use small palettes a lot, so that's kind of the reason why I'm putting them here. And also, like, I know with the amount of products that I buy and with the amount of products that I want to use on a daily basis, I do want to go through all of my collection and use all of my palettes somewhat regularly. It's not possible to really be able to pan a big palette. So I'm choosing smaller ones. I feel like I could pan some of these shades. From the Wolfa palette by Shelby Makeup. I do like these mattes, and I do love this multichrome. But then these two, I mean, like this one looks nice with this, and it's okay, but it's not a shade that I would be like, wait, I need a shade like this. Like I would never buy this as single or anything. It's just that in the palette it works. But then there's this reddish shade, and I don't really wear shades like this a lot, and like sometimes it looks cute with this color story, but I feel like if I bought this as a single for with other brand that is more sparkly and just more exciting, I might use it more. So I don't know. I feel like this could be again easy project. These pens are very shallow. I think they're also like 1 gram of product if I remember that correctly. And then I could have this as a magnetic palette for the future, because I do use it a lot as a magnetic palette actually. So that's kind of like something that would be easy, but I actually do like a lot of these shades. So I don't know if I want to pen that. And then there's this product, and that's mostly because it's kind of harder to store because of this little raised thing here. But this one is the Haggard Ecstasy of Saintless or something like that. And I already have almost one pen here because again, very shallow pens. I think this might even have less than 5 grams. Oh no, this has 5 grams for 5 shades, but usually shimmers weigh a little bit more than mattes, so but this one you can even see like it's such a jelly shade that it nearly has a pen because there's so much gel, and it takes a while to actually layer it on your face. So like this one I would definitely be able to pen even if I only use this like 2 or 3 times. Next year I'm gonna have pen in this. And then I'm kind of wondering, but I don't wear pinks very often, and I don't really want to force myself to wear pinks. But at the same time, it would be very easy to use up and then declutter. But I do kind of want to keep it for the couple times that I do want to do pink look. I know that I can just take this and be done with it. And I don't really have to think about where do I have some pinks, because I don't really have a palette that has a full pink look in it. Or I would have to really look for it. Like sometimes I have like a shade or two, but not really. I don't know if I could do a full look with any of my palettes. Maybe like 1 palette or 2 palettes. I think the Cosmic Brushes Delicious Delight has a couple of pinks, but and I do like these. This one is a beautiful green to pink multi-chrome, and this one is kind of green to purple, kind of similar to the one from the Hello Bean palette. So yeah, this one would be simple, but I kind of also want to keep it. So I don't know, but it could be like an easy thing to do. And it would save a lot of space for me, even though it's a small palette, so. Yeah, that's kind of where I am with my eyeshadow palettes. I haven't really thought about face products yet. Maybe I'm gonna do a similar video like this, or maybe I'm not, and I'm just gonna like decide on my own at the end of the year, depending on what products I'm gonna be able to use up and what products I won't be able to use up. But yeah, these are kind of all the products. So if you're not gonna use up these Christmas palettes, which I don't think I'm gonna be able to use them completely, and the Liana palette and the products from the Tinkerbell palette, which it isn't priority for me right now because I have green in this and also in the Christmas palette, like both of them. So I'm probably not really gonna use the Tinkerbell palette this year. So I think she's gonna go for just next year, but I want to do as much progress with these 3 and especially with the Earth palette now. And then for next year, I definitely want to bring the Solmane with the with the Tinkerbell and anything that will, that won't get used up this year, and then some of this. So I think, because it's still gonna be a lot, I mean, these two will be decluttered and just like, and I'm just gonna take out the shades, but then it's 1, 2, and 3 palettes. I don't want to overdo it this year because I feel like I don't want to overdo it next year because I feel like this year it was a bit, even though like a lot of them were just kind of like either hit pan or use up just like a shade or two. But yeah, I feel like 3 plus some singles from this. So then maybe top 3 choices from these palettes. Like the 3 palettes that will get the most votes, I'll put in next year so that we have 6 palettes. I feel like that's maximum. I definitely don't want to do more than that. I have a couple other products in my collection that are older, but honestly, I think at this point I'm just kind of, all the palettes that I have, I either don't want to pan because I just love them so much and I want to keep them the way that they look, and I just want to kind of proportionately use them all throughout the year a couple times, or hopefully as much as I can. But I don't really want to, I don't ever want to lose them, and also a lot of them aren't that old. Like the Christmas palettes and the Solmane palettes are the oldest in my collection. Then a lot of them are just like a year or year and a half old, so I don't really feel like I need to put them in Project Pan right now. And I just kind of want to use them organically, not to really think about trying to use them. And also I don't know, I still want to keep all the other palettes pretty because I love to look at them, and there's always just like part of me is very happy when I have a pan there, but and part of me knows that at that point I'm gonna want to use it completely up and then get it out of my collection, but I'd still want to keep those palettes. So yeah, it's really hard for me. It's really hard. But yeah, I'll definitely create a poll, and please vote if you can. It just, I would really want to know which of these you would want me to ban. Let me know how was your journey so far, and if you've made some kind of progress. I will definitely be like really focusing on these palettes that I have in front of me, like the ones that are from this year, because I really want to go to next year with the least amount of baggage, if that makes sense. So yeah, let me know. And I think that's everything for today. So I hope you had a great day, and I'll be super happy to see you next time. Bye!